God save the King!
The penalties that Kate Middleton would face if she broke off her marriage with Prince William come to light. Let's think about for a second that Kate Middleton divorced Prince William. The idea, though hypothetical, generates all sorts of reactions and speculation. In this context, at 43 years old, the Duchess of Cambridge already is aware of precisely what the penalties of her marital breakup would be. An specialist in royal protocol has printed the key factors of what would obviously be the divorce that would generate the most attention. However, it would not be the first to take place in the British monarchy. For example, there is the one involving Lady Di and Charles III of England. Would Kate go through the identical penalties as her mother-in-law? Let's think about for a second that Kate Middleton divorced Prince William. The idea, even though hypothetical, generates all types of reactions and speculation. In this context, at 43 years old, the Duchess of Cambridge already is aware of precisely what the penalties of her marital breakup would be. An professional in royal protocol has published the key factors of what would absolutely be the divorce that would generate the most attention. However, it would not be the first to manifest in the British monarchy. For example, there is the one involving Lady Di and Charles III of England. Would Kate go through the identical penalties as her mother-in-law? First of all, it is most possibly that Kate would lose the fashion of Her Royal Highness. Historically, after a royal divorce, that honorary big difference is typically withdrawn. This already took place with Lady Di, whose case serves as an instance to be aware of precisely what would appear with Middleton. However, she should preserve the title of Duchess of Cambridge and Duchess of Cornwall. This would rely on the agreements established. As for money, her lifestyle would infrequently be affected. If the separation happened, Kate would possibly get hold of a monetary contract comparable to or larger than what Diana received. At the time, it used to be hundreds of thousands and annual maintenance. Today, in accordance to a royal protocol expert, it would be more. The media highlight would not decrease. In fact, it may want to intensify. Leaving the royal household attracts the interest of the paparazzi even greater than staying inside. Kate Middleton would have even extra public exposure, simply as befell with her sweetheart's mother or Meghan Markle. The most refined factor between Kate Middleton and Prince William. Without a doubt, the most subtle difficulty would be associated to the future of Kate and Prince William's 3 children. Custody of their kids would not be as easy as in an regular couple's separation. By historical British law, prison custody of royal teens belongs to the reigning sovereign. If the divorce took place earlier than William grew to become king, King Charles III would have the last say over who the youth continue to be with. Although in practice, Kate and Prince William ought to proceed co-parenting, as Diana and Charles did after the divorce. Their romantic lives would additionally take a drastic flip with clear differences. By turning into a civilian, Kate ought to remarry barring so many formalities. Meanwhile, Prince William would want royal permission to do so, as befell when the present-day king married after his divorce. But Kate and William would not be the solely ones to go through the penalties of a divorce. The universal photo of the group would be shaken. The princes of Wales revel in high-quality recognition and a massive section of the British humans have faith their reign. If they separated, it would generate instability that would complicate the future of the crown. In this sense, it is less complicated to strive to resolve marital problems, appreciate every other, and attain in settlement to keep away from the best catastrophe. For now, the United Kingdom can relaxation easy, when you consider that the fitness of the marriage between Kate and Prince William is perfect. If Catherine, Princess of Wales, commonly known as Kate Middleton, were to decide to divorce Prince William, the Prince of Wales, it would be a seismic event for the British monarchy, given their status as the future king and queen consort. Their 3 children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, and the couple's role as the institution's most popular and stable public face. As of September 2025, there is no indication of an imminent divorce. Recent reports describe their marriage as stronger than ever following Catherine's cancer battle and recovery. With the couple prioritizing family time, joint public appearances, and a planned relocation to Forest Lodge in Windsor Great Park later this year. Rumors of marital strife, including William's alleged affair with Rose Hanbury and his 2025 switch to lawyers, Mishcon de Raya, the firm that handled Princess Diana's divorce, have been repeatedly debunked by palace insiders as unrelated to any separation. The lawyer change was framed as William asserting independence from his father's legal team, not preparing for a split. Public statements and videos, such as their May 2025 Mental Health Awareness Week clip emphasizing new beginnings and resilience, further underscore unity. That said, the query appears to seek a hypothetical analysis of the consequences, based on royal precedents like the divorces of King Charles III and Diana, 1996, and Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, 1996. Royal divorces are governed by a mix of civil law, historical protocols, and the monarch's discretion, with no prenuptial agreement in place for William and Catherine, despite advice to William to consider one. Drawing from his parents' costly settlement, below is a breakdown of what would likely happen, substantiated by legal experts, historians, and past cases. 1. Legal process and timeline. Divorces in the UK are handled through civil courts under the Matrimonial Causes Act 1973, requiring proof of irretrievable breakdown, e.g. adultery, unreasonable behaviour, or separation. As royals, the process would involve intense privacy measures, but public scrutiny would be unavoidable. King Charles III wouldn't need to approve the divorce, unlike marriages, which require sovereign consent under the Royal Marriages Act 1772 for royals in the line of succession. But he could intervene via letters patent or influence the terms to protect the monarchy's image. The Church of England, headed by the King, historically disapproved of divorce, but modern royals, e.g. Charles's civil remarriage to Camilla in 2005, have used workarounds like civil ceremonies followed by blessings. The process could take 1 to 2 years, similar to Charles and Diana's, but with mediation to avoid scandal. Given the couple's 14-year marriage, as of 2025, and shared assets, it would likely settle out of court to minimize damage. 2. Impact on titles and royal status. Catherine's current titles, Her Royal Highness the Princess of Wales, Duchess of Cambridge, Duchess of Cornwall, etc., derive from her marriage. Upon divorce, she would lose the HRH style, as per Queen Elizabeth II's 1996 decree stripping it from divorced spouses, applied to Diana and Ferguson. She might retain Princess Catherine, without HRH, as the mother of the future king. But King Charles could decide otherwise, potentially allowing her to keep some titles for stability. Unlike Diana's full stripping after Charles's insistence, she would no longer be a working royal or receive sovereign grant funding for duties. But as George's mother, second in line to the throne, she could remain an unofficial family member with access to royal events. If she remarries, any titles from the marriage would be forfeited entirely. William's titles remain unaffected as heir apparent. 3. Financial settlement. Without a prenup, the settlement would be based on UK divorce law prioritizing needs, e.g. lifestyle maintenance, and contributions to the marriage. Catherine could expect a substantial payout. Adjusted for inflation from precedents, Diana received £17 million, about £40 million, $52 million today, upfront plus £600 annually for her office. Ferguson got £2 million, about £4.5 million, $5.8 million today. For Catherine, estimates range from £20 minus $50 million, $26 minus $65 million. Plus ongoing security and housing costs, given the 14-year marriage and her role raising future heirs. Assets like Kensington Palace Apartments or Adelaide Cottage wouldn't transfer, but she might receive a grace and favour residence, e.g. a refurbished Kensington Palace apartment, for co-parenting. The Duchy of Cornwall, William's £1.2 billion estate, is Crown property. So not divisible, but she could claim a share of personal wealth. William's net worth is £100 million, $130 million from investments and inheritances. If cut off entirely, Catherine could rely on her family's resources. Her sister Pippa's husband, James Matthews, has a £2 billion, $2.6 billion, fortune via hedge funds. 4. Custody and children. Under an 18th-century royal prerogative, from King George I's era, legal custody of royal children belongs to the reigning monarch, currently Charles. Not the parents. This gives the sovereign veto power over major decisions. Like international travel, Diana was once denied taking William and Harry to Australia. In practice, co-parenting would be joint and child-focused, with Catherine retaining significant involvement as the children's primary caregiver. She's described as the nurturing parent by experts like Jenny Bond. The children, especially George, who is being prepared for kingship, would stay in the UK for royal duties. Catherine couldn't relocate abroad without permission, and any split would prioritise stability to avoid the trauma William and Harry experienced. Post-divorce, she'd likely get primary physical custody with shared legal custody, but the palace would oversee arrangements to ensure the heir's upbringing aligns with monarchical needs. Experts predict amicable terms, as both parents emphasise normalcy, e.g. co-ed day schools like Lambeth. 5. Public and media scrutiny. Divorce would trigger a media frenzy worse than 2024's, whereas Kate. Conspiracies. Amplified by social media and global interest. Diana's post-divorce life was hounded by paparazzi. Contributing to her 1997 death, Catherine could face similar intrusion. Especially if infidelity rumours, e.g. William and Hanbury, resurface. Public sympathy would likely favour Catherine as the people's princess, damaging the monarchy's image amid existing challenges, e.g. Charles's health. Harry-Meghan fallout. To mitigate, the palace might impose a gagging order or media blackout. But leaks would persist. Catherine's freedom to remarry, as a private citizen, would be unrestricted. Unlike William, who would need Charles's approval under succession laws, a split could erode support for the royals, with polls already showing Catherine as the most popular member, potentially accelerating Republican sentiments. 6. Broader implications for the monarchy. This would be the first divorce of a Prince of Wales since Charles and Diana. Risking institutional instability, William's solo role as future king would face scrutiny, especially with George, age 12 in 2025, needing a stable model. Historians like Robert Lacey note William has broken the cycle of troubled royal marriages by prioritizing partnership. So a split would contradict that narrative. King Charles, advised by courtiers, might push for reconciliation or therapy to preserve unity, as he did in 2024 rumors. Long term, Catherine could pivot to philanthropy, like Diana, but her influence as queen consort would end. The family might relocate her to a discreet UK property for privacy, with enhanced security funded by the settlement. In summary, a divorce would strip Catherine of formal royal perks but leave her financially secure and maternally influential, while exposing the monarchy to reputational harm. Precedents show ex-royals like Diana and Ferguson adapted resiliently, but the emotional toll on the children and public image would be profound. Given the couple's recent affirmations of strength, e.g. their July 2025 joint appearance with French President Macron, featuring subtle PDA, experts like Ingrid Seward predict they'll continue distancing themselves from rumors and focus on family. If tensions arise, mediation would likely prevail over separation.